All right, folks, we had a little technical difficulties. I think Zoom might be a Patriots fan. We were talking about
Yeah.
how terrible the Pats are and how the Pats played, and then all of a sudden Zoom crashes on us. We had to restart this whole deal, but thanks for hanging with us. Hopefully, this will be a seamless transition from part one to part two, whatever it is we have to do. Maybe we splice it all together. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll keep rolling here, Brian. We're gonna hit up the Bengals Colts game, which
All
wasn't
right.
supposed to be a good game. I think
Mm-mm.
you and I both may have been wrong about the Colts and how good they're going to be this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not playing out there. They had some trouble disposing of the Bengals. It was a close one, but Joe Burrow, he's played two really tough defenses the last 2 weeks, and even this past week against the Colts, he did okay. He gets some points with his legs, which is obviously really helpful. And his wide receivers, man, he's got three of them now because Tyler Boyd, he's steady Eddie. He's always going to get you 5 to 8 catches. He's always going to get you, 50 to 80 yards, probably maybe a touchdown mixed in there. T. Higgins is still rocking and rolling. He's legit. He is the real deal. He started out as their wide receiver 4. Then he overtook John Ross. Then he overtook A.J. Green. And he might end up being sooner rather than later the number one receiver in Cincinnati. And why A.J. Green? Why do you do this? You do nothing all year. I'm treating you like Brandon Cooks. Right when I'm ready to give up, you go and get 8 for 96. Now, the Bengals did do a little smart with Green. They were moving him into the slot more, getting him some higher percentage pass attempts going his way rather than just lofting the old man a ball down the field. So that is smart on their part. I don't know, but it really irritates me because now I'm telling you, offenses, it's very difficult to keep 3 receivers week after week after week being productive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
it's tough.
I don't
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know what I
tough.
don't know what it's going to be a tough situation to deal with there in the with the Cincinnati pass catchers. But I don't know how you bench. You definitely can't bench Boyd. I don't think you can bench Higgins now either. But
Mm-hmm.
AJ Green just ruins everything that those two had going.
Yeah, this might have been just an anomaly. This might be like the best that he can do this year. So I don't know. Well, let's see. He'll have to put it together for a couple of weeks before I start calling it a comeback. But yeah,
Well,
like
then
you,
sit on your bench for 2 more weeks when you're ready to cut bait.
I know it's tough though. But like you said, I mean, the Colts, to me, they're like the Bears. They're not that good, but they're 4-2. So I don't know, man. It's a decent record, and the Bengals. I mean, the Colts defense is pretty solid, but they didn't play that great this week. I mean, the Bengals were up 21-0 pretty early in that game, and then the old Colts had to play comeback pretty much the whole game, outscoring them 31-6 for the rest of the game. Mixon didn't do too hot for me on my fantasy, even though he did have the 18 carries, 54 yards, not a whole lot, but he's a guy, like you said, he can't bench Mixon, so you have to roll him out every week. Yeah, man, T. Higgins to me, he's a guy that I picked up, I don't know, 3-4 weeks ago, and I've been mixing him in the flex here and there. I didn't have him in this game, but I think to me now, I mean, he's a guy I think I had to start every week, so he's going to be locked and loaded on my fantasy team here. Trey Burton's the guy we talked about earlier in the show. I mean, he had 4 catches, 58 yards, 2 touchdowns. I think he had a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown. So I don't know, man. And Jonathan Taylor, our good dude JT here, man. Just 4 catches for 54 yards, but
That's the highlight. The catches are the highlight.
the catches saved it because the 12 carries for 60 yards, this isn't doing it for me. But
Keep doing it.
the 4 catches for 54 yards will salvage a decent day. But again, he's just not finding the end zone as much as I thought he would. I thought he'd be a sort of like a touchdown monster this year, but he's just
Not happening.
not happening this year, man. But the Colts are a tough team to figure out. I just don't get them either. They're like the Bears to me. So I
Well,
don't know.
this was Rivers' best game as a Colt.
It was, yeah, for sure.
But if they had a decent quarterback week in and week out, they would be a lot better off. They would be. I mean, I don't know if Jacoby Brissett's the answer, but the answer is not Phillip Rivers. And of course, like you mentioned, Trey Burton messing everything up. Jack Doyle still got a touchdown, so that tight end situation's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
And then we already talked about T.Y. Hilton not doing anything for you. And then Marcus Johnson decides he's going to step up and go 5 catches for 108 yards. I mean, this team, you have no idea who to trust in a passing game. I mean,
Yeah,
not a clue.
yeah, it's somebody new every week. And then I know, I mean, Mo Alley Cox, I guess, will be back at some point. So there's another tight end you'll throw in the mix. So it's kind of like the Rams backfield. You just don't really know who's gonna do anything on any given week. So
And
it's a tough call, man, if you're gonna roll any of those guys out there.
I think Rivers can only play from behind. If he is
True.
like right there, if he's in the game or he's in the lead, he's horrendous. But if he's down 2 or 3 scores, he's the quarterback you want. Gosh,
Yeah.
that's so weird. All right, moving on. Lions and Jaguars. You thought this was going to be a high-scoring shootout affair. It was not so much. Hello, DeAndre Swift. It is a pleasure to finally meet you in the NFL. What we have been waiting for so long. He finally breaks out 14 for 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Adrian Peterson still had a score, I believe. But that is the game we have been waiting for. So happy to see DeAndre Swift finally explode onto the scene.
Yeah, man, he's a kid coming out of Georgia. I thought was going to make a splash, but he did this week. So we'll see if that continues. And I mean, look, the Lions win this game. Gardner Minshew played pretty bad. I don't know.
He saved you with a rushing. Mustache Mania is over.
That's got to be over at some point. I mean, it was cool while it lasted, but now the guy just doesn't win any games anymore. So it's tough. And to me, I mean, look, the Lions won this game, but you got DeAndre Swift. He's he's killing it. He's 116 yards, 2 touchdowns, but yet Adrian Peterson still gets 1 more carry than him. So
and be careful. Look,
it just doesn't make any sense, man.
NFL coaches hate us.
Yeah,
they hate us. So if next week Lions roll out there and Adrian Peterson has 20 carries and Kerryon Johnson has 7 carries and DeAndre Swift has 3 carries and 2 catches, I would not be surprised at all. Now, hopefully, I mean, you got to hope they don't do that. Swift is obviously the most talented back they have, but I'm telling you, NFL coaches hate fantasy players, and I think they do it to us on purpose.
Yeah, man. It just doesn't make any sense. You got to ride the hot hand, and Swift was that hot hand this week, and yet Peterson still out carries him by 1 carry, gets 15 carries to his 14. So to me, that doesn't make any sense. But luckily, you're playing the Jaguars. You still win by 18 points, so that doesn't matter. But to me, I guess Chark was kind of a disappointment. I mean, he had 14 targets.
14 targets. That's what you want. If you told me Chark was going to have 14 targets, I'd have been like, okay, he's definitely got over 100 yards. Probably a touchdown. No.
But he catches 7 for 45, so you're looking at a bunch of 5 and 6 yard catches. So it's just not – I don't know. It's just not going to do it for you, I guess, fantasy-wise. No. I mean, yeah, you're going to get – I don't know. What he would have had, 11.5 points. So.
And then Laviska Shenault, who's been – we talked last week. He's been building every week, building, and then he falls flat on his face. And you know whose fault it is? It's Keelan Cole. Keelan Cole is like that fly at the picnic that's just ruining everybody's day. You're like, you're so excited about, getting this one thing, and then there's that fly. Get out of here. And then, oh, wait, what about that? No. Keelan Cole is messing everything up. Every time you think it's going to be Chark or Shenault, they're in a great spot. Keelan Cole steps in, who nobody's got on their team, and he ruins the day for everybody. I hate Keelan Cole.
Yeah, me too, because I started Shenault in one of my leagues as a flex player, and I was like, man, he's going to get me at least 12 to 14 this week, and he didn't do nothing, man. So I think Laviska Shenault, I think he's being a ghost for Halloween because that's about what he was this week. So he's getting ready for Halloween early because he did it this week.
He's too much of a weapon to leave alone. They got to use him more from here on out.
Hopefully they figure it out.
So this next game should take about 15 seconds to go over. The Jets and the Dolphins. The Jets are horrendous. Please fire Adam Gase. You have a chance to win next week if you fire. We see the playbook here. The blueprint is there. The Texans fire their head coach. Boom, they get a win the next week. The Falcons fire their head coach. Boom, they get a win the next week. Let's go, Jets. Let's get in the win column here.
Yeah. I don't think they want to.
Gase is so bad. This might go down as the worst head coaching job tenure in the history of football, maybe sports. I don't know. Crowder is the only human being in a Jet uniform that you can play. He's going to get you. I mean, what was he, 6 or 7 catches for 60 or 70 yards this week, and that's the worst game he's had. I'll take that. That floor for sure. I mean, that is the worst he's done all season. I'll take that absolutely. Dolphins, they go into halftime, and you think Fitzmagic it's happening again. He's going to roll out here with 30-some points. Didn't happen. They didn't really need to do much after the break, so that kind of disappoints you a little bit for what you thought could have happened. Myles Gaskin was good yet again, and then Adam Sheehan scored a touchdown, as did some guy named Durham Smythe.
Yeah.
Mike Gesicki, the Dolphins tight end, did not have a catch, I don't believe, but Durham Smythe did have a catch, and it was a touchdown. I'm not even sure if Durham Smythe went to his own high school reunion right now, anyone would even recognize him or have any idea who he is. Yet here he is catching touchdown passes when it should be Gesicki. So irritating.
Yeah, I think Gesicki, he had like 2 targets, so that's not going to do it for you if you're rolling him out there, especially against the Jets. You'd think he probably would have – I don't know. That you thought – he's been having a decent year. I mean, you would have thought he'd put up decent stats against the Jets, but nothing.
Gesicki's got 2 good games and 4 clunkers.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough, man. Jets are terrible. You can't roll anybody out there besides Crowder, like you said. I don't think they want to fire Gase because I think they want to lose every game, so they'll probably just can him at the end of the year after they go 1-15 or something, or 0-16 at this point. But they're pretty bad, and it looks like they're going to be getting Trevor Lawrence maybe. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes. But yeah, I don't know if they want to win a game. But even on the Dolphins side, I mean, Fitzmagic, he had 3 touchdowns, but he threw 2 picks. He didn't even have 200 yards passing. So you would have thought he would have rolled out with a bigger stat line than that. I thought Myles Gaskin looked pretty good. I mean, he had 91 yards, 18 carries.
Are you reading my notes over there?
Yeah, a little bit. I might be. It's through the screen. But it's tough, man. Yeah, I did watch this game because I have Crowder. So, like, I did tune into this game a little bit, and I was kind of surprised with Gaskin. I mean, the kid runs pretty hard. And, I mean, when you got Matt Breida and Jordan Howard, you would have thought this kid would be like a practice squad player. But, I mean, he's
got them guys on the bench.
Yeah, he's got those guys riding the bench, not even getting touches, really. I mean, yeah, this game's just bad all around. Jets can't even score. Can't even kick a field goal in this game against the Dolphins. Flacco out there just looking pretty rough. But
he's not good. He's not good.
Nah, it's tough.
All right. This next game we thought was going to be the game of the week.
Yeah.
And I could not barely watch the Packers take on the Buccaneers. So much for a QB showdown. We honestly, we should have seen it coming. I know Aaron Rodgers has been playing at an MVP level, and he's, absolutely fantastic, especially this year. He's really stepped it up. But Tampa Bay has the 3rd best scoring defense, fantasy-wise, against quarterbacks. So it's a top 3 defense against QBs. We should have known, at least thought, you know what? I know it's Aaron Rodgers, but this is a tough defense. I mean, he had 160 yards passing and 2 picks, no touchdowns. And that was really Aaron Jones scored a touchdown, but he got barely any yards. Devontae Adams was 6 for 60 some. It's really a terrible game on the Packers side. Meanwhile, Brady, even though they got a big win, he was kind of pedestrian again. The defense stole the show. That was a whole story. Ronald Jones killed it. Since the last 3 weeks with Fournette being out or hurt, whatever, Jones has gotten 18 points, 15 points, and 26 points. Next week on the docket, the Raiders. Las Vegas is terrible against the run. This could be another Ronald Jones week coming up. I like that. Mike Evans, dude's got 1 catch. Mike Evans has 3 weeks this year with 2 or fewer catches. 2 or fewer. Now, Brian, I know neither one of us are mathematicians, but the only thing fewer than 2 is 1. The dude has 3 weeks where he has 1 or 2 catches total. That is not going to do it, but I'm sure you're happy that your boy Gronk finally showed up.
Yeah.
5 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown. You got to be happy about that.
Yeah, he did something. Yeah, showed us he's still alive out there.
Barely.
Brady with 2 touchdowns, but I mean, the defense took over this game. Bucks defense is pretty. I don't know. I guess you can call them pretty legit. I mean, they're better than I thought. I guess.
They look good.
And Rodgers. I mean, look. So I looked it up. The Packers didn't have a turnover this whole year. This was their first time turning the ball over in a football game this year. So that's pretty wild. And it's Aaron Rodgers.
That is a wild stat. I did not know that. That's a good one.
Yeah, and it's Aaron Rodgers' first multi-interception game since 2017. So this game could be another anomaly game for Rodgers. Just like we said, we thought this was going to be some big quarterback showdown, and he has his worst game in 3 years. So it's just that kind of stinks. So, but again, I don't know, man. Brady didn't really have to do much, and I think the Packers, they were winning 10-0 in this game, right? Aaron Rodgers was out there kind of dancing around and doing a bunch of stuff. They were up 10-0, I thought, at one point, right? And then the Buccaneers just kind of take over and just dominate the rest of this game. Even Devontae Adams coming back. I mean, he comes back and Rodgers has his worst game of the year. Kind of weird, I guess, but I don't think it'll continue. But yeah, bad. It was a good week. I don't know, man, for the Bucks D, and just a kind of a clunker for the Packers. I guess everybody's due. Just one of those games, and I guess this was their week.
Yep. Well, our last one to go over, because obviously we didn't have time to break down the Bills-Chiefs game, is the Rams and the Niners, and this is a perfect example of how NFL head coaches hate us. I mentioned this before, and this is a perfect prime example. Everyone was bad for the Rams. Robert Woods got you a touchdown, but he had 4 catches for 29 yards. Cooper Kupp had 3 catches for 11 yards. That's ridiculous. And Sean McVay comes out last week. Cam Akers comes back from injury. Rookie running back that we thought preseason was going to be, well, some people thought was going to be the lead back. Comes out first game back from injury, 9 carries, 61 yards. And McVay says Akers needs to get the ball more. Do you know how many touches he had this week, Brian?
Less than 5, didn't he?
He had 0. Do you know how many snaps he played?
If he had 0, I don't know. Couldn't have been that many. 3 or 4.
He played 1 snap all game. What?
I mean,
what?
Why
do you say that?
I don't know.
McVay should be fined. McVay should be fined for lying to us.
Well, I mean, I'm not a big McVay guy anyway, so it's all good.
Well,
you can't.
I thought he was your guy.
Nah, yeah, he's But I mean, the best part of their offense was Henderson. I mean, he made the most of his 14 carries. I mean, he looked pretty damn good, 88 yards. I don't know, man. I'm a Robert Woods owner in a couple leagues, and he might be a guy I'm kind of. I don't know. I'm not gonna get rid of him, but I'm pretty low on him right now.
And you can't. I mean, what are you going to trade him for? Unless somebody in your league's a Rams fan or they're. I don't know. He doesn't have name value because he's an undervalued player in fantasy every single year. So I don't even know what you would get for him in a trade.
I don't know, man. And the 49ers, I mean, they're a pretty rough
Cam
team.
Akers. Maybe you could trade for Cam Akers.
You probably could. That's about it. But 49ers are rough, man, and they come out and kind of put a whooping on the Rams. I mean, this game to me, it wasn't really as close as the score tells. I mean, I think they pretty much they had this game pretty much on lockdown in my mind. I mean, Jimmy G got benched last week, and then he comes out and throws
against the Dolphins
three touchdowns against the Rams, who were a one-loss team. So it makes no sense.
No, football is so weird, man. Football is so weird.
Yeah, it's tough, dude. I just don't get it. And Ayuk, I mean, he only had 2 catches, 12 yards, but he found the end zone. So
I mean, you have to try. You have to try to score a touchdown and still get less than 9 fantasy points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's difficult to do.
That's tough, yeah. And I think Deebo Samuel, I mean, he had 6 for 66. I think he's picking it up a little bit. So I think he might be I think he just had a little slow start back from that injury. So I think he's back to kind of maybe like 100% full form here. So I think he's going to have some big weeks coming up, which is, I guess, good for the 49ers fans. But Rams are a weird team, dude. McVay's kind of turning into like Belichick in a way with these running backs. Like he just wants to I don't know, roll. And like I said, I mean, this week, look, Henderson was probably one of the better players on the field besides like Kittle. I mean, Henderson looked good running the ball. And then next week, Akers will have 15 carries, and Henderson will play 2 plays. And then
I know.
it makes no sense. It's like kind of like the Bill Belichick. He must have read that Belichick book for running backs or something. I don't know.
Bellatrix.
Yeah, Belichick how to control your running backs or something. I don't know, man.
So last thing I want to say on that is just came out that Mostert is going to be high ankle sprain. They say he's going to be out at least 3 weeks. High ankle sprains are longer than that, buddy. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's been out for a while. He's got a few more weeks to go as well. So I don't know if you pick up McKinnon, Jeff Wilson. I know Jermichael Hasty. He was the lead dog actually this past week. Again, here we go. Different running backs all over the place. You got 45 guys running the ball. Who knows what to do with that? I know the last time Mostert was out, it was McKinnon. That's probably where I would go as long as, he's good and healthy and playing everything. If not, I think Jeff Wilson's next, but we gotta watch out for Jermichael Hasty now.
Yeah, another guy to throw in the mix. I don't
Great.
Another guy. So I mean, it's just a weird year. And 49ers, I don't know. This could be one of those games where this could have been like their best performance of the year. I don't know if they're going to start beating up on teams. Garoppolo, pretty much. I think that's just the most you're going to get from him. And the Rams laid a stinker in this one, man. I don't know. The Rams have played a pretty easy schedule. I mean, like we said last week, they've beat up on every team in the NFC East, which is probably one of the worst divisions to go down and ever play football.
Right.
And now they're going to start playing and the 49ers, you would think, was probably the easiest team to beat in their own division because you have the Cardinals and the Seahawks. So, I don't know. Not going to get any easier for the Rams. I'll tell you that.
All right. You want to look ahead to a couple games? You got anything on your mind?
I guess looking another rough week. But, I mean, to me, the 2 games that stick out is Pittsburgh at Tennessee. That'll be a good game.
They're both undefeated, aren't they?
Yeah, both undefeated. So that's a 1:00 game, Pittsburgh at Tennessee. That's a big one.
Well, that's going to be really interesting because, obviously Derrick Henry running the ball for Tennessee. They just lost their starting offensive tackle, Taylor Lewan, for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh's got that nasty defense. This is going to be a good one because that Tennessee Titans offense is moving and grooving. So I want to see what Tannehill can do. This will really be a good test for them. Now, Steelers, like you said earlier, the Titans defense has not been up to par. They have not been holding down the fort like the offense has. So the Steelers should be able to score. So it might come down to what can Tannehill do to get these Titans across the goal line as many times as possible.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this game, man. Especially we got the old Eagles playing on Thursday night. So, yeah, I think I'm watching this game 1:00, man. So I want to see Derrick Henry against that defense, see what he does. And then the only other game I think is pretty good is probably Seattle at Arizona. I think that'll be a good game. That's a 4:00 game.
Supposed to be high scoring, but so is this Cardinals-Dallas game, and it's really letting us down here. 14-0 almost halftime.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the greatest game, but there's got to be fireworks in that Seahawks-Cardinals game. I'll be really excited. Is that the night game?
It's a 4:05. That's a 4:00 game.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, Sunday night is Tampa Bay at Las Vegas. So
there will be a lot of fantasy implications in this Seattle Cardinals game. If you have one of those players, if you got a Seahawk, you got a Cardinal on your team, they are in your starting lineup for sure.
Yep, and those are the 2 best games I see all week. And again, another week of some clunkers, man. I just don't. Detroit, Atlanta, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Buffalo, Jets, Dallas, Washington, Green Bay, Houston. Just a bunch of
play Buffalo's defense.
Yeah. I guess you can do that. Yeah, because I think a lot of people probably have dropped them over the past couple of weeks because they played Tennessee last week. They played Kansas City tonight. So yeah, they're probably out there in a lot of your leagues. Let's see, Monday night game, Chicago against the Rams. I'll watch it because it's Monday night, but another stinker. I don't know. And then you got Colts on a bye, Dolphins on a bye, Vikings, and Baltimore. So there's some fantasy guys. You got your Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson, Myles Gaskin, Jonathan Taylor. All those guys will be out this week. So
got it.
Dig deep on that bench because those injuries come every week, man.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening, hanging out with us. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, like and subscribe. We're getting those videos up there as quick as we can.
Mm-hmm.
And everywhere else, all the other platforms, Spotify, Pandora. Sorry, I got distracted. Kyler Murray just threw a bomb to Christian Kirk, and I started them both in one of my fantasy leagues, believe it or not. So 80-yard touchdown reception. Let's go, fellas. Let's go. Anyway.
I'll take the Kyler points. I
got them both, man. I stacked them up.
I got Hopkins. I would love to see Hopkins, but all right, maybe later.
Sorry, folks. We're back. It's very difficult to do a show. I know if you're watching a video, I'm trying not to glance over here too much, but it's difficult. Anyway, we're so close to 1,000 members. So close. We got to get there this week. Got to get there. Let's go, Brian. Let's get these stickers in. We need some stickers so I can toss them out when I go out in public. We can really build a brand out, outside of our circle here.
Yeah, we'll get them going, and then we had a good run on members this week. I know some people.
Yeah, thank you.
I know we must have added 40 or so people because we're only 15 people or so left to 1,000. So that'll be good, and
we got it this week. We got it.
Yeah, it's got to happen this week. I think we've been averaging about 20 people a week. So just based off of the math, we should get it this week, but we'll see.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Hey, everyone out there, thanks for listening. Thanks for the support. Keep it up. We do this for y'all.
All right, man. I'll talk to you next week.
All right. See you, buddy.
See you.